everyone. Welcome back to Digital Growth Live. I'm so excited today. We have another fabulous entrepreneur on the line and a dear friend, Clarine Mitchell. Welcome.
Thank you, Emily. Yes, dear friend. It's an honor to be on here with you. Congrats for having Digital Growth Live and just all the fabulous content you provide. And now I'm a guest. I'm honored.
I know. Thank you. So everyone, I'm really excited to have Clarine on because she's kind of one of the first person that I talked to, first individual that I talked to about LinkedIn, and like she's she is the one who really taught me like the basics of LinkedIn, the importance of LinkedIn, and I literally have been on this journey for maybe a couple of months now, maybe over 6 months, and I'll tell you a little bit how we met, but I mean, it was a really amazing thing. We just happened to collaborate. We were on a networking board and I saw all the amazing things that she was doing on LinkedIn. And I was like, oh, let me chat with Clarine. And, we just had a budding relationship ever since then. So it's been so great to amazing things about LinkedIn from Clarine.
Oh, thank you. Okay, let me just say this then. I fully take responsibility then for your growth on LinkedIn.
You should.
I am so proud. I am proud that you just embrace the platform now and you're moving, you're making progress, you're rocking it, you're building your brand, expanding that. And every time I see you come up on my news feed, I'm like, there she go. Yes, rock it. Yes, do it, Emily. Now you can't get rid of me because you're stuck with me. So, yeah.
And that is the blessing that I cannot get rid of you. So thank you. And it's true. I mean, I'm marketing for over 15 years. I'm more of my past has been more of a traditional marketing sense, where we're working with events, creating like your brand. And the last year I've been really diving into digital. And you were the first person, like, because I use LinkedIn occasionally, but I didn't know the power of LinkedIn. And then when I started talking to you, you're like, so what's your SSI? I was like, what? Huh? And I was
what is your SSI? What's it looking like these days?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't looked at it. So I should get back to basics. Right. And maybe that's what we'll chat about today. There's so many conversations that Clarine and I can have, and we chat all the time. But she is an amazing person. Just in general, because you are a queen and you have so much knowledge on marketing and branding and LinkedIn. So we'll see where this conversation goes, but I will let you introduce yourself and then tell me a little bit about your business so the audience can learn who you are, and then we'll just kind of dive in.
All righty. So I'm Clarine Mitchell. I'm the founder and CEO, Chief Empowerment Officer of TCM Communications. I'm a solopreneur in the greater Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, so the Midwest, but I serve clients throughout the country, throughout the world. It's the wonderful option of the virtual world now, where we can reach so many people, and I take full advantage of that and benefit from it as a business owner. But my business is focused on changing the trajectory of lives and businesses one LinkedIn profile at a time. And that includes one-on-one coaching, group training, event speaking, content creation, even social media graphic creations as well. But that's who I am and what I do. As a business owner, I love the freedom of being my own boss and just impacting, again, the lives and the businesses I do by, as you talked about already, Emily, introducing them to the wonderful world of LinkedIn. I said, there's so much opportunity on the platform that most people are just, I don't want to say the word clueless because that's just not as nice, but just not aware of, because most people are introduced to LinkedIn from a job seeker perspective.
Yes.
Don't understand that there's so much more to LinkedIn than just job seeking purposes or processes. So that's where I come in. I fill the gap for those who have been like either not using the platform or been not understanding how to use it effectively to get results. So I'm the LinkedIn Results Igniter. I come in to help people solve that problem, not getting traction or results from the platform.
I love it. I love it. So I have a lot of clients that I work with, and and they're from a more traditional sense. And I tell them about the power of LinkedIn, and they are so hesitant. They don't really believe me. I don't
Right.
understand why. But so if you were like talking to someone who didn't understand the power of LinkedIn, like how would you talk to them about LinkedIn, and like what are some of the features and benefits that you would say like this is going to make an impact of your business?
I would start with the fact that, okay, this is my phone, right? The vast majority of the world, the population, we're on these all day long, one way or another. We're on the smart devices, right? And from a business perspective, we have to, especially a business marketing perspective, we have to meet people where they're at, and they're on their smart devices. And when it comes to being on these smart devices, we're on these devices on social media. And LinkedIn is the #1 social media platform for professional and business purposes. And so if you're not on here and effectively using LinkedIn, then you're out of sight, out of mind, and you're leaving opportunities up for your competitors instead of for you to seize and take advantage of. In a nutshell,
Yeah.
like get with the times. It's 20, like get with the times. It's 2022. Like social media is not going anywhere. And it's really a more cost-effective way because it's a more targeted approach, and it's where you get greater returns because you're getting results that are from qualified leads as opposed to just generic cold selling tactics.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I mean, I learned so much from you, and I know the importance of content from a marketing perspective. So I'm just curious, like, how do you typically use LinkedIn for your business? I mean, I see you post, you have your own show. So tell me how do you leverage the system for yourself and your clients, or for
Oh my
your
goodness. Like for me, first of all, I prioritize LinkedIn, understanding the value of the platform. So I prioritize it and I put in the work. And I tell my clients that as well. If you want to get results from it, you have to put in the work. It doesn't happen magically or mysteriously. And it's just not about optimizing your profile or having your profile completed. You have to put the work in with the content. That's really where the magic comes into play, so to speak, with the platform. When you have that content that's consistent, that's value added. So leveraging all the features the platform offers. Like right now, it's so hot on LinkedIn because they continue to roll out new features and become more, I say comprehensive. Like I don't need to use any other platform because LinkedIn has become more comprehensive in nature, especially, with the launch of the LinkedIn audio events. Like, why do I need to go to that other platform that's specifically for that when I can use LinkedIn and already be on the platform where my network is? Why not do that? And then so optimizing the profiles, being able to have that consistent value added content, and using the features, whether again, audio events or LinkedIn lives or consistent content overall, and mixing up the content using polls and using regular content. Getting one of the biggest conversations lately is people not understand you can be personal on LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be dry and stiff and all about business or all about work. You can be your authentic self on the platform. And so leaning into really having content that drives the process of people getting to know you and like you and trust you, because then they're going to want to do business with you or refer someone else to do business with you.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, the biggest thing is putting in the work. It doesn't happen magically, and you have to be strategic with it because the way LinkedIn works is so different from other social media platforms. So you really have to lean in to the best practices of the platform. That's what I tell my clients. And you already refer to the social selling index, and it really becomes a roadmap of how to leverage the platform to get organic results. Because unlike other social media platforms, you generally, if you want to get results from them, you have to pay for a lot of ads or spend a lot of money on ads. With LinkedIn, yeah, you can do ads, but you can also get results organically. It's just putting in the time to make it happen.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why I have you on today to talk about LinkedIn is not only because you're fabulous, but I mean, you have been on LinkedIn and you have been doing this for such a long time. So your expertise is amazing. And that's why LinkedIn has actually come to you to do beta testing for them. So, right?
Yes, I was a beta tester when I launched my LinkedIn newsletter back in August of 2020. No, it seems like, yes, 2020 has been that long.
Wow.
My newsletter. And then, so now as a beta tester for the LinkedIn audio feature as well. So I appreciate that. Again, as you were saying, you mentioned I've been using the platform consistently because my belief is we have to practice what we preach or practice what we teach. And I am able to give my clients a higher level of servicing, coaching, guidance based upon me using the platform consistently on a daily basis for years now. And because of that, I know the platform inside and out. And because I know the platform inside out, I can give my clients more guidance, more factual processing of how to leverage the platform, not just based on something that I read or something that I heard because I attended an event or somebody said. No, because in actuality of how I've used the platform and gotten results myself. And everything that I do with my clients is based upon what I've learned and had success with on my own first, and then help them implement too. It really is about putting it in practice, not just talking. And I've gotten frustrated lately because there's been people in my circle who have gotten burned, so to speak, or had bad experiences by quote unquote LinkedIn experts or coaches or trainers. But we have to be smart with who we hire, so to speak, or who we do business with, and really vet them out and make sure that, again, they practice what they teach.
Yeah, and I love that. I mean, I definitely know you practice what you preach because I see you all the time on LinkedIn, and the fact that you're utilizing so many of the different areas is great, right? And from a marketing perspective, some people come to LinkedIn and they think like if I put one post or two posts, that's doing digital marketing, and so that's the beginning of digital marketing. There you go. There you go. I've literally was having this conversation with one of my coworkers. It's the beginning, right? But there are
Right.
so many more functionalities that you can use at LinkedIn that's going to create a holistic or a whole integrative marketing campaign for you that you're going to see more results. So,
Right.
like you had said, when you put in the work, you're going to see that. And I'm curious to hear, like, what's your thoughts on the newsletter feature since you've been doing it for so long, and then also I definitely want to talk about the audio. Yeah.
So the LinkedIn newsletter feature is if you don't have a newsletter, you need to start one and lean into it. My philosophy with LinkedIn, because as with any platform, they evolve over time with what they focus on, right? And so we have to make sure that we're fully leveraging features when they come out, test them out and see if it works for our purposes. If it doesn't, then you can stop it. But at least when new features are rolled out, try to take advantage of them. And so the focus on LinkedIn are the newsletters. Back when I started really being active on LinkedIn consistently, and it seems like forever ago now, but in 2016 and 2017, articles were hot then. Like I would get thousands of views and engagement, comments and shares and DMs and business opportunities from articles that I would publish. Those are like, no, LinkedIn has moved on. Newsletters is what's hot right now. And comparison wise, yes, you still can publish articles, but you're not going to get as much traction unless you're a big time influencer. And with newsletters, the difference is that when you publish an article, you publish it and you really have to work to get traction with it in generally speaking. With the newsletter, people can subscribe to it. And when you publish a new article or addition to that newsletter, LinkedIn then pushes it out for us. which I love because it's like they do the marketing, they do the promotion, where everyone who subscribes then receives a newsletter notification. An email notification to say that you've published a new edition, and a LinkedIn notification. That's marketing for you. So why not take advantage of that? And so the newsletter feature is a great option right now. And if you're not doing it, then think about starting a newsletter. It's a higher way to become a thought leader on the platform right now, and to build and expand your network and your credibility by having some consistency with providing quality articles related to whatever your topic area of expertise is. And then the LinkedIn audio events, again, like similar, let me say, to another platform that's all about that, but now is an option currently in beta testing on LinkedIn now, where there's a certain group of LinkedIn users who can create the audio events and host them, but everyone on the platform can attend the events. And again, it's that whole magical process of voice to voice, where in real time, people can hear you speaking on these audio events, and then they can join us on stage and ask questions, provide insights and feedback, and then that just real-time conversation. So people I've been connected to with on LinkedIn for years, I've been able to actually have conversations with them voice to voice on stage during these audio events, which has been a great experience to take the relationship to a whole different level.
I love it because I think of it from a sales funnel almost, or almost like a sales funnel. Like LinkedIn is now creating opportunities for you to touch your prospects in so many different levels, right?
Right.
You're able to post your content, your static content, your images,
right.
and they get a feel of who you are. You're able to do live, so people are able to engage, like, what's your personality exactly. Like, is it a good fit? And then with the audio events, it's an opportunity for you to just like engage one-on-one, like you said, and see like, okay, like they know what they're talking about. They're good on the spot. So it just makes so much sense from a sales and marketing perspective. And for me, especially when you're like a newer entrepreneur, one of the things that you had said in the very beginning is like, LinkedIn is awesome. Like, it's my website, right? Like, I don't need to put all that time and effort into creating a website when I have LinkedIn. You have your profile, which you do an amazing job optimizing, right? That's where people are going to. You have these feature sections on the very top. So if you have the articles, you can feature them. You just have so much in this one area, and then you're not really paying for any of it, right? And then, like you said, in the newspaper option.
Emily, don't get the secret out there. Like, no, but it's true. It's free. Like, why not optimize it if it's free? Like, I don't know how long it's going to be where LinkedIn will continue to have all these fabulous features for free. We need to, especially entrepreneurs, we need to leverage them now. We need to take advantage of. There's so much opportunity on the free side of LinkedIn that is just so much opportunity that's there. And you mentioned about my belief or my practice. I don't have a website anymore. Initially, when I started my business, I had a website, maintained it, all of that, and it was double work for me because, again, for what I do as a service-oriented business versus product-oriented business, e-commerce related, everything that I was doing on my website, I do on LinkedIn, especially with having a LinkedIn company page in tandem with my personal profile. It didn't make sense, and maybe for others it makes sense, but for me, it didn't make sense to continue to then have a website too, because even with the company pages, they're making them more conducive for business owners where you can publish articles, you can go live from the company pages too. There's so much opportunity, again, where I feel is so comprehensive, where why go to other platforms or why use other processes like a website when everything is right there on LinkedIn? It's just the mindset, I think, the orientation that people have to make that switch, because we're so used to the traditional way, or you have to do this, and like this in this order, or have this, and this for your businesses, it's not that cut and dry anymore. It can be different ways that we approach and still have success.
Yeah. Yeah. And you really opened my eyes to that, right? Because like I said, I come from more of a traditional background, right? It's supposed to look a certain way. And then when I had the conversation with you, I was like, oh yeah, from an entrepreneur standpoint, like this totally makes sense. So yeah, so thank you for always dropping gems for me.
You're welcome.
And now for the audience, the Digital Growth Live audience. So thank you.
Nice name.
So curious, I always ask sometimes for like tips or secrets or, something to help the audience out. Like what would be like one or two tips from a LinkedIn perspective that you would give the audience so they can take right away and start utilizing?
The biggest one, foundation wise. So I'm not assuming that people really understand LinkedIn, is optimizing the profile. We've alluded to it before, but making sure that from the top to the bottom, there's so many sections on LinkedIn with your profile that you can customize. And most people just don't realize and miss out on, leveraging and having a profile that makes a strong, good first impression. It's one thing to have content and content that's consistent and providing value, but when you have that content, hopefully the goal is to get people interested in you. So they look at your content, they want to learn more about you. They then go to your profile, and then there's no banner. It's the default image. Or there's no about section that really give them an ideal of who you are and why you do what you do and what differentiates you from others. But the point is making sure that you're fully leveraging or optimizing every key section on your profile to get the most out of it, to make sure you're making that strong first impression. And then again, that content. The biggest thing with LinkedIn is that it's not like Etsy or Pinterest or other platforms where it's the direct transactions. It's all about social selling. And that is where a lot of people get frustrated when it comes to LinkedIn, because they want results overnight or very quickly. It takes time with the social selling model of LinkedIn, where it means you build authentic relationships over time. And from those authentic relationships, that's where the results come, because then people are going to want to do business with you because they like you, they know you, they trust you, versus you making a post and then you think someone is supposed to like DM you right away, let's do business. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to build your credibility on the platform, and then the law of attraction goes into play. And then people will want to do business with you or refer others to do business with you. But you have to build that credibility by having that consistency with the content that's value added, not salesy content, not direct selling. The majority of your content, the majority of our content has to be where we're providing value without any expectation in return.
Yes. And I just one other layer to that, talking about building credibility. It's not only posting content, it's about following other people who are on LinkedIn, looking at who your audience is and seeing what they really need, engaging with them, like looking at their post, that's where the relationships and business happen.
Relationships go both ways, right? It's not one-sided. It's not where we're just creating content and we want everyone to go to our content and react and give comments and all of that. No, it goes both ways. As you said, Emily, we have to be intentional about that, where it's not where we're doing it purposely, like, okay, let me just go and really quick like a whole bunch of react to a lot of her posts and comments so that I get on her radar so she wants to do business with me. No, being genuine. When we see content that's on our newsfeed that's of interest to us, then we engage and we support. And, and we're intentional. When people are engaging with us, we engage with them as well. That's the relationship building process of LinkedIn.
Yeah, I love it. And I've just seen, like, as I've gone on LinkedIn, like, I've created a really good relationship with you, and there's some other business owners that I'm starting to create relationships with. And it was really simply like, I posted content, they posted content, I like their content, I said something about their content, they did that,
Right.
and then you're like, oh wow, we have some interest. Like, let's chat, see where it takes us, and it's been
Right.
an amazing process. But
Organically, you never know where it goes, right? It develops naturally. And that's when you get the greater value, when it does happen naturally, organically.
yeah. And I also want to shout out Clarine because she does such a great job at optimizing profiles. I've actually had her work with one of my clients in the tech world, did a phenomenal job with like taking it, breaking it down and saying, okay,
Step
this
by
is,
step.
yeah, step by step, this is what you need. Because sometimes it feels overwhelming. Like if you're new to a platform and there's so many platforms out there, you're like, oh my God, like I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And there's new features and you don't know what features to go. Like, don't waste your time. Go to an expert. Clarine is the expert. She will say, okay, I got you. This is what you should do. And she already knows like what's going to get results. Like she already knows what people are interested in. So, I mean, I know you do a consultation where it's kind of like an intro to LinkedIn. So if you could talk a little bit more about that, that'd be awesome.
Oh, thank you. Well, wait a minute. There was a point, and I should have wrote it down because you dropped some gems right there, and I was trying to just. The point of, I want to say first, the point of, you made the reference to the client in the marketing world, and this is universal on LinkedIn. The point of company pages versus personal profiles.
Yeah.
And the statistic or the research that shows that you gain greater traction via personal profiles more so than company pages because people relate and connect to people versus businesses. And then so if you're able to use your personal profile as a professional for brand ambassador purposes, for the goals of your position, for the overall goals of the company you work for, you're going to get greater traction. And so just wanted to make sure I shared that point, just the power and that's untapped on LinkedIn when it comes to the personal profiles for brand ambassadorship purposes. Where in companies, it doesn't have to be just on the company pages or just in the hands of the marketing or the communications department. Everyone who works at a company can help to leverage the goals of the company via the LinkedIn profiles. Because LinkedIn, there's a place, I say, on LinkedIn for everybody, no matter where you're at. If you're a job seeker, most definitely, but you can be a career professional and still leverage LinkedIn for the purposes of your job. You can be a business owner and leverage LinkedIn for the purposes of your business. You can be an executive and leverage LinkedIn. You can be a retired person and still leverage by being a thought leader and mentoring, those who are coming up in the industry that you once worked in. There's a place for everyone on LinkedIn. I just wanted to make that point as well. Okay, back to your question.
I wait. One thought on when you were saying that if you have an account with LinkedIn, you have a brand and you need to build that brand. And by having your optimized profile, you're building that brand. So whether you think you have a brand or not, you have a brand and people are looking. So just wanted to drop that for everyone.
Okay, see, now you're getting me started with something else. So yes, we all have a brand. And my belief, this, Emily, is that we all are the CEOs of ourselves. We should be. Whether we're in business or not, no matter who we are, we should be the CEOs of ourselves. We should be our best cheerleaders, our top fans, and we should be leveraging the platform at all times, even if we're not in job seeker mode, whatever mode we're in. We should make sure we have a good presence on the platform because it is the exclusive platform. I used to say number one. I don't say that. I'm trying not to say that anymore. It's the exclusive social media platform for professional and business purposes. It behooves everyone to leverage it. You never know when someone is looking at your profile. Like literally, it's funny. I'll have an appointment or I'll be at a networking event and casually have a conversation with someone and they be giving me disclaimers or warnings or something. It's like, I already looked at your profile. I already know what you look like. You don't have to give me a warning or disclaimer, tell me or explain. Anybody can look at your profile at any given time, and you never know who that could be and what opportunities you're missing. The doors that you're closing on opportunities because your profile isn't optimized, because the last time you made a post was 6 months ago or whatever the case may be. So leveraging a platform so that your brand is shining online at all times.
I love it. And I forgot our last question because I know it was a good question. But I mean, I think it's so important that people really understand that, because I work with salespeople all the time, and we talk about social selling, and I talk about creating content and like, what is your brand, right? When you're selling, you're creating relationships. This is just another layer of doing that. So I just really wanted to drive that.
The cold calling, the traditional cold calling and sales approach does not work anymore or effectively. And more, it's where it is working to their detriment. And actually, I made a post today about how the DMs with sales messaging, or, when people they'll send us DMs and they don't even take, yes, please. They don't take the time to even look at the profile and know what your business is about or what your profession is about. It's just the randomness of it that is so disrespectful, and how those traditional tactics, because a lot of times, especially when it's salespeople, they'll use the sales navigator at the back end of LinkedIn and do the searching and the filters and get people's email addresses or phone numbers. That's not going to get you the same kind of quality results based upon, again, qualified results when you have those relationships that are built. When you use LinkedIn right, the opportunities are going to come to you versus you chasing them. Wouldn't you prefer that, where the opportunities come to you versus you chasing them? And when you chase them, 9 times out of 10, well, the percentage is lower of getting results from that when you're doing the chasing versus people coming to you based on how well you use the platform.
I love it. Like, my mind just going in all different directions, but I'm gonna, because I totally geek out on marketing and social selling, and I could take this in so many different directions, but to be respectful for everyone's time. And you want to have a conversation about it, reach out to me. You want to have a conversation about LinkedIn, reach out to Clarine. She's awesome.
Thank you. Stop the emails. I mean, DM. Stop the selling DM.
Oh yeah, that was my block.
Yeah.
As soon as a salesperson reaches out to me and they're pitching me on the first message, I'm not engaging with you. And that should be a rule of thumb. Like, you do not pitch me on the first message.
It's like a date. Like, you don't go to first date on a date. Like, so right. So not doing that, but even still, some of them try to get slick. And I'm like, I've been in this game for a while now. You can't get slick where they'll send a few words, how are you? Or good morning, or, like these 1 or 2 word kind of messages. And I don't have time for that, because they're trying to warm you up and get that. And then before you know it, the second or third or fourth message, that's the sales. Like,
yeah, I've had that too. Where I thought I was in a really good conversation, I was like, I think the sales pitch is coming right about.
You can feel it.
Here it goes.
It doesn't work. Either way, it doesn't work. And so we have to be empowered to know that our LinkedIn profile is our profile. It's our brand. And we have the power to not respond to those individuals or shut them down and let them know we don't accept or appreciate unsolicited sales messages. We can disconnect from people at any given time, remove the connections. We should have people in our network that are respectful of our time and our brand. So have the power to disconnect from people as necessary. Shut them down.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my God, we are giving so many gems today. I didn't know we were having this conversation, but this is good. So boundaries, like we'll talk about boundaries. And okay, one more thing about that, right? Because as entrepreneurs, we have so many different like things going on in the world,
Yes.
right? And you're investing time in a platform. And I think for me, that's like one of my boundaries that I set, because it could be a time suck, right? And there's a
Yes.
lot of different things that are time suck. So you have to set boundaries in your routine and whatever you're doing, that people have to respect your time. And
Right.
that's how you're going to be successful. So that's one of my boundaries. I'm like, no way. If you're not taking a moment to like get to know me, I'm not doing
Right.
business with you.
Exactly. Okay, like there's so much more we can say with this.
I think we'll have a whole nother conversation around all, like social selling and all this fun stuff.
And the boundaries, but even as entrepreneurs, we have to honor our time, because our time is worth money, right? There's value to our time. And even when it comes to social media platforms, we really have to, yes, I'm the LinkedIn expert or LinkedIn coach and trainer, but maybe LinkedIn isn't the platform for you, so to speak, especially if you have an e-commerce business or whatever. But I still believe there's a place for everyone on LinkedIn, because again, it has become the number one place where people go to vet people professionally and business wise. They're not going to those other platforms to vet people. Even if they may do transactions with you on those other platforms, they may be going to LinkedIn first to vet you and to see how credible you are, because that's what the platform is about. I've seen even more and more, even in the news media, whether it's TV or even newspaper references the reporters make to finding out about somebody via their LinkedIn profile. Per their LinkedIn profile, they last worked at whatever company or whatever. So it is the place where people are going to vet you. But also, in reference to entrepreneurs in our time, we have to make sure that we're not spreading ourselves thin when it comes to social media. Find that platform, and maybe even just the one platform really where your ideal clients are, where they live, where, and focus on that platform and learn that platform inside and out, so to speak, and get traction before you're going to another platform, if you need to go to another platform. You can't spread yourself too thin. We can't. So having primary platforms and not trying to feel like you have to be everywhere. A new platform pops up. Oh, I got to go do that. Don't have that squirrel mentality when it comes to social media platforms. Be strategic with it. Be with the one that's going to generate the most results for you. And then maybe have one or two that supports that activity.
Love it. Love it and love it. Thank you. And you talked about honoring time. And one of my pillars of doing business is doing business from a mind, body, soul perspective. And it's really honoring who we are. So it was like a perfect segue, right? So how do you honor yourself? Like, how do you bring joy? How do you bring pleasure? Like, how do you keep yourself semi-sane in this busy world?
Oh my, by having time with Emily.
Yes, I mean, yes, darling. A lot of people tell me that. I'm just saying. I always make people giggle. I like to laugh. So
to get the energy that I need. But so in addition to having time with Emily, making sure I do prioritize, and I'm purposeful, intentional with this more and more, making time for me as a person, because the more sound or the greater my level of peace is, the greater I'm able then to serve my clients and continue to grow my business. So taking time, pulling back. So I'm a LinkedIn person, so I'm on my computer most of the day, or on my phone most of the day, doing things related to my business. So intentionally pulling off the computer at a certain time of the day, even if that means, and I'm public about this, if I need to take a nap in the middle of the day, I take a nap. And then I get back, refresh myself, and get back to doing what I need to do. Or weekends, like I love antique shopping, just spending time aimlessly roaming every shelf in an antique store. And that helps to refuel me, or when the weather is nice and getting out and being near water. is my happy place. I don't live close enough to water, but being near water is my happy place. So, or in nature and just walking and just the breeze and all of that. But those are just some of the things I
love
do
it.
to
I
keep
love
me
it.
grounded and focused.
Yes, I love it. I love antiquing. Well, I don't love antiquing, but I like that idea of going out and antiquing because I think it's like it's a almost like creative, but also
Yes,
meditative, right?
yes,
Because you're walking and you're like in the motion and being present,
yes,
um, and then you're doing something that you love, which fulfills you, and then that spills over to your clients.
yes, most definitely.
Yeah. So anything, I mean, we're at 40 minutes. I didn't even realize the time. So anything else that you want the audience to know, like about you, about your business, about what you're offering, just kind of your
So,
closing remarks.
what we talked about on and off about the social selling index. So maybe that's perked some interest for people. Like, what is that? What are they talking about? But it's a tool that LinkedIn provides that gives you an assessment of what your status is on the platform. LinkedIn was created and is there for us to get results. And that's why that assessment is provided. That's why there's other features and tools and key data with the platform. So if anyone is interested in being able to find out how to get your social selling index and a walkthrough really of understanding the data that it provides, just go to my LinkedIn profile, to my featured section, and there's an item, it's probably maybe the second item in my featured section where you can schedule a complimentary 30-minute Zoom session with me, and we'll go through that process so that you can understand what your social selling index is, the value of it, the importance of it, as well as some other key data. Because when we learn more, we know more, then we understand more, and then we can do better and get better results. So that's where it really starts on LinkedIn, knowing your SSI.
Drop it right there. That's where it's at. Get your complimentary SSI understanding with Clarine. I mean, because it really does make a difference. And like, it was so eye-opening for me. So I think it's really important because that one last thing is like, sometimes when you're on these social media platforms, like you feel like you're creating, you're putting out, and like, you don't see the results or you don't see the difference. When you
Right.
check into your SSI, and then you check in like another month later, you can see your growth and your
The growth.
progress.
Exactly.
So I think it's really, really interesting. And you can see where you can improve on different areas of your profile and stuff like that. So
Most definitely. Mm-hmm.
oh my. So it was such a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much, Clarine. I am so honored that you came on Digital Growth Live. Again, I'm doing Digital Growth Live, 100 entrepreneurs or female entrepreneurs this year, really to showcase how like amazing. I know.
That's
I know.
ambitious. That's a lot. My
Girl,
hat off to you. Like, that's a lot.
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get
Yeah,
there.
good
And
for
it's
you.
really, it's my passion project because there's so many amazing women entrepreneurs out there doing amazing different things. And I want to have a platform for them to really shine. So thank you. I'm honored that you are here because you are like the seed that started this creation, right? So 100 women get to go because you took the opportunity to
Oh,
talk to me about LinkedIn.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, now I'm getting emotional because I think about like,
oh,
growth,
the ripple effect.
the
Thank
ripple effect.
you.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about how we met, though.
Okay, so let's do it. This is
How?
bonus.
Well, very quickly, we both completed the Cornell University Women's Entrepreneurship Program. And from that, we are both then in a social media group dedicated to women who have gone through that phenomenal program. And that's how we initially intersected. And then the rest is history, so to speak. But just had to give a shout out to that
Yeah.
wonderful program.
And I heard the program is expanding too. So
Yes.
if you're a female entrepreneur or you're an entrepreneur in the making, I think it's an amazing program to take a look at.
Yeah, a phenomenal resource. Cornell University in partnership with Bank of America, and the intensive entrepreneur training that you can do online at your own pace. Well, not at your own pace because it is a time frame, but it's self-guided and you really get a lot of good information from the program. But that's how we met. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was an honor and pleasure. Make sure you reach out to Clarine, and we will catch you on the next Digital Growth Live with another phenomenal entrepreneur. And that's it for today.
yay. Thank you so much, Emily.
Yeah.